What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Sports. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're doing another podcast here, and we're doing it this time on the Raiders because I have not talked about the Raiders in a long time. And I just feel like it's relevant because I'm hearing a little bit of news about Max Crosby. We'll talk about that in a minute. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Remember, Matt Steinmetz will be here tomorrow on my podcast to talk Warrior basketball. If you're a Raider fan and also a Warrior basketball fan, you'll want to catch that podcast. Matt Steinmetz, 95.7 The Game, will be here. So let's talk a little bit about Raiders and Max Crosby, who I think is an outstanding player that I can't understand why would be traded from the Raiders. There's a lot of heat coming around his name and the fact that he might want to trade. He's shut that down numerous times. I don't know why Max Crosby would be asking for a trade necessarily, other than he just doesn't feel like the team's going to be winning. But there's a new head coach in town, and that head coach is Pete Carroll. And whether you like his antics on the sidelines or not, Pete Carroll is an amazing coach and probably the best Raider coach I have seen, well, maybe ever in my lifetime. I think he's probably the best head coach the Raiders could have signed, provided he does what he did in Seattle here. He's older, so who knows? But you have John Gruden. John Gruden's first time around with the Raiders, you got an argument. Second time around, not so much. I wasn't impressed that much with what John Gruden was doing with the Raiders the second time around, but neither here nor there. They have Pete Carroll now. Why would Crosby want to leave when this coaching staff just got a million times better? It doesn't make a lot of sense. So there's a lot of talk about him being traded, guys, and unless he requests a trade, I have no idea why the Raiders would want to trade Max Crosby. He is a guy you would want to build around unless there's injury worries that we don't know about or there's something in his personality. He's not a locker room killer. We know that, so it can't be that. So I don't know where the rumors are coming from other than just people trying to throw crap against the wall to see if it sticks. I don't believe it for a second. I can't imagine he would be traded. If he does, trade him over to the Niners. I know they're looking, but there's a competition there. There's Crosby, and then there's Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett is obviously the better choice, I would say. But, hey, if those two are available, that's going to shake the league up just a little bit, guys. I just can't believe Max Crosby will get traded. So if you're a Raider fan and you're listening to this noise, don't listen to the crap, guys. This is absolutely ridiculous. He signed until 2026. It makes absolutely zero sense for the Raiders to trade Max Crosby. I think that people out there are just trying to drum up news and trying to create something out of nothing. I don't believe this is going to happen for a second. If it does, I mean, that would be typical Raider things to do, but I can't imagine why they would even do that. That makes no sense. The Raiders seem to like to trip over their shoelaces every step of the way. It's like they're running for a touchdown and they're clearly going to get in, and then they trip over their own 2 feet, and all of a sudden, they're down. So that's how I look at the Raiders a lot. They have potential. They had a defense that was working up until before last year, and then this last season comes together, and they don't really evolve from that. Maybe that's why Crosby would want to trade, but he's not saying he's asking for it. Doesn't sound like he wants it. If he doesn't want it, if I was the Raiders owner, I damn sure wouldn't be trading Max Crosby because he is arguably the most valuable player you have, the most likable, the most impactful, I think, so far. So anyway, guys, about Max Crosby, I think just put that to rest. I don't think he's going anywhere. I highly doubt it. They did sign a new wide receiver, Kyle Phillips, from the Tennessee Titans. I think I kind of like I like that move. He's not absolutely a number one wide receiver that would, be an entire game changer, but he can go out there and he can make plays. He plays hard. He plays fast. He's got good hands. I think that was a good pickup for the Raiders. Again, probably not a number one wide receiver, but a great number 2 or number 3 wide receiver for sure. So I like that pickup by the Raiders, but let's see what they do in the draft, see how they get better. But you got Pete Carroll now, and I can almost guarantee this team is going to only get better. Will they reach the mountaintop of winning a Super Bowl? Well, there's a lot of other teams out there that are a lot better than them right now. The Chiefs are still on top. The Niners are going to come back hard next year for sure. The Lions are going to be really, really good again next year. I kind of feel like the Lions might regress a little bit, but still a very good team. You have the Broncos coming up. The Raiders will be playing a couple times a year. So, there's some struggles there, but this is a good beginning. I think Pete Carroll is going to get this team going in the right direction. I would be excited for if I was a Raider fan. I'm a Bay Area fan. The Raiders are now in Las Vegas, so whatever. But, if I wasn't a Niner fan, I'd be a Raider fan. So I can root for them when I'm not seeing the Niners play against them. And I would say I'm glad that they went and got Pete Carroll. It was a good pickup for a head coach. You have to start with leadership first. That's what they did. They went out there and they finally got themselves a head coach with credibility. He's from the Niners tree of coaches. And pretty much all of them have been successful, along with John Gruden, by the way. But the bottom line, he's going to bring success to this Raider team. Will it happen overnight? Who knows? Right now, I'd say you're still in hot pursuit of a quarterback. I don't think there's a quarterback on the Raiders right now that can sustain any longevity at all. Maybe a placeholder this year, maybe not. Depends on what Pete Carroll does, but he's there. I think he's going to be looking for a quarterback pretty soon, if not this year. Maybe he's going to start looking at the defensive line, the offensive line, and some of the offensive tools that the Raiders don't have before you plug in a quarterback. But whichever way he's going to go, the team is going to be better because of it. I still think you got to go out and find a quarterback, this before the season starts. But that's just my opinion for the Raiders. There's some guys out there that can be had that can improve the Raiders, I believe. I don't know. Maybe Russell Wilson for now. I think Russell Wilson's over the hill. I don't think he's going to get you a Super Bowl at this point. Not at all. But it can be an upgrade from what you got until you have your future superstar quarterback, right? So, overall, the Raiders are in a great position. I like where they're headed into the offseason, and I'll be tracking them. You guys can watch every week as I track the news, and we'll see what moves they make and what they're all about, what they're going to do before the draft and going into spring training. But I'll tell you, with this head coach and this staff, it should be fun. Either way, it should be fun. It should be exciting. So, hey, let's watch the Raiders, see what happens with them, see where it goes, and see if they just, work hard. Because remember, hard work beats talent when talent don't work. So Pete Carroll going to have to get to work. A lot of hard work for this team, but it could happen. See you guys in the next one.